Everyone, I am Dr. Gitanjali Nikam, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Ketecham College, Nasik. Today we are discussing about the environmental sustainability and you. Our Indian Constitution has given us the rights and laws. So when we talk about the rules, regulation and rights, it's our prior duty to take the initiative towards making our environment more and more sustainable. Environmental sustainability is important to preserve resources like clean air, water, and wildlife for the future generation. And it aims to maintain a healthy balance between economic growth, environmental protection, and social well being. Today, issues like climate change, deforestation, biodiversity loss, water scarcity, pollution, all these issues they make the environmental sustainability one of the world's most important priorities. So let us discuss about the sustainability first. Sustainability is defined as the development to meet the need of present generation without compromising the need of future generation. And if you just consider the definition of environmental sustainability, so environmental sustainability means the responsible use and care of nature so that the people today get what they need without hurting the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It focuses on protecting the natural systems, saving wildlife and keeping the earth healthy. Our government which play important role. So the environmental laws in India they are indeed a reflection of the constitutional vision, and the Indian constitution includes several provisions emphasizing environmental protection, such as we have different laws under which Article 48A and Article 51A comes. So Article 48A which directs the state to protect and improve the environment and safeguard forests and wildlife. Article 51A G, which is related with the imposes a fundamental duty of the citizens to protect and improve the natural environment. Now, based on these constitutional mandates, India has enacted various environmental laws and regulations aimed at sustainable development and conservation. So, these laws address issues like air and water pollution, forest conservation, wildlife protection, and waste management, aligning with the constitutional goals. The need protection and conservation of the environment and sustainable use of natural resources is reflected in the constitutional framework of the India and also the international commitments of India. Now there are various acts which are related to the environment in India. For example, we have the Air Act 1981 which is related with the preservation and control of pollution. Water Act 1974 which is related with the prevention and control of the pollution. Environmental Protection Act 1986, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, under which we have the Forest Conservation Act also 1980 and Biological Diversity Act 2002. As we know that the government have the different types of policies and different types of rules and regulation for us. So let us discuss it in a detail. So government play important role in environmental sustainability. How? Let us see that. On this slide, you are able to observe different points, 8 points, which are correlated with the duties which are um, done by our government, Indian government. So policy formulation and legislation is one, where in this the government enacts the environmental protection laws, sets the standards for air, water and soil quality, implements the policies for sustainable resource management. In second, pollution control. Our government, which monitors the industrial emissions and the waste disposal, establishes the pollution control boards, imposes the penalties for the environmental violations. The third one, which is related with the conservation of the natural resources, where uh, it is just correlate with the protects forests, wildlife, wetlands, and biodiversity. It is also correlate with establishes the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and the biosphere reserves. It promotes the afforestation and reforestation programs. In fourth, that is promotion of renewable energy. Here it includes the government which encourages the use of solar, wind, and hydro as well as the bioenergy. Government provides the subsidies and incentives for clean energy technologies as well as reduces the dependence on fossil fuels. In fifth point, that is waste management. Here the government develops the solid waste and sewage management system, promotes recycling and the waste segregation, that is separation. Then government also encourages the circular economy practices. The sixth point, which is correlate with the climate change mitigation. Here government particularly implements the national climate action plans, also promotes the carbon emission reduction as well as the participates in the international environmental agreements. The seventh point, which is correlated with the environmental education and awareness. Here it includes the environmental education in a school and college curriculum. You know that we have a special subject in our curriculum for UG as well as for PG that is related with the environmental science. Then the government conducts awareness campaigns through the media and public programs. Government also encourages the citizen participation in conservation efforts. Nowadays we called it as the citizen science. Then the eighth point, which is related with the research and monitoring. Government gives fundings for the environmental research as well as they monitor the environmental quality too. Like the government, various different types of non-governmental organizations are also there. So the non-governmental organizations, in short we call them as NGOs. So NGOs also play important role. How? See, the non-governmental organizations, they bridge the gap between the governments and communities by promoting the environmental conservation and public participation. So let us discuss the role of NGOs. The first one, that is the environmental awareness. So the NGOs, they create the awareness, environmental awareness. How? See, by organizing the campaigns, workshops and seminars, they educate the people about the environmental issues and also encourage the eco-friendly lifestyle. Second point, which is correlate with the community participation. Here it includes mobilize local communities for conservation projects because the common people play important role here, and specifically the local communities because they know each and everything about that particular place. That program also promotes the volunteer programs and encourages the public involvement in the decision making. Then the NGOs also play important role in biodiversity conservation by protecting the endangered species, restore the degraded ecosystem and promote the habitat conservation. Now there are different types of the programs which are organized by the NGOs. For example, they organize the tree plantation drives, they promote the urban forestry, encourage the community forests, which comes under the tree plantation and afforestation program, which are run by the different NGOs which are remain active in our India. The fifth one, which is waste management initiative. Here the NGOs, they actually promote recycling and composting. They also conduct the plastic free campaign. They support the cleanup drives in rivers, beaches and public spaces. nowadays the cleaning of the rivers, which is most of the important topic. Now the research and advocacy. The NGOs play important role here also in the research and advocacy. How? See, they conduct the environmental research, they advocate for the stronger environmental policies, and they monitor the government implementation of the environmental laws. The disaster management, which is the next point, which includes here the role of NGOs. Here NGOs play important role in a disaster management. How? They assist during the flood, drought and other environmental disasters, and also promotes the climate resilience and sustainable livelihood practices. And the last, that is the sustainable development projects. NGOs, they promote the organic farming, encourage the rainwater harvesting, and also support the renewable energy projects in the rural area. So, as we know that the government as well as NGOs, they play their role. Now, it's our duty to play the important role in the environmental sustainability. Okay, so here, although the government, industries, and organizations which play significant role, the contribution of the ordinary citizen, which is equally important. Small actions which are taken by the millions of people, they can collectively create a sustainable, positive impact on the environment. So let us see what role you can play for the environmental sustainability. Let us see one by one. Now these are the small steps you have to take or you have to follow in your day-to-day life so that it will be the good stage for the environmental sustainability. Now which are those? See, there are 3 R's: reduce, reuse and recycle. Follow the rule of these 3 R. Minimize the waste generation and save energy. Then segregate the waste and recycle the paper, plastic, glass and metal. Conserve the water. How? So the conservation of water is very important point. Turn off the taps when not in use and repair the leaking pipes. Harvest the rainwater and use the water efficient appliances. Switch off the lights and electrical appliances when not in use, and it is actually helpful for saving the energy. Use LED bulbs and energy efficient devices. Promote the renewable energy such as the solar power. Reduce the plastic use. Carry cloth or jute bags instead of the plastic bags. Avoid the single use plastics like straw and disposable cutlery. Choose eco friendly packing. Plant the trees and protect the trees. Not only the planting is important, but protection of those trees is equally important. Participate in the tree plantation drives. Protect the local forests and the green spaces. Encourage the urban gardening and rooftop gardens. Adopt the sustainable transportation. Walk, cycle, or use the public transport whenever it is possible. Carpooling is also best option, which is reduce the fuel consumption and it also helpful for decreasing the air pollution. Support the environmentally friendly products and the local business. Protect the biodiversity. Avoid disturbing the wildlife and natural habitats. Support the conservation program and avoid purchasing the products which are made from the endangered species. Even though we can spread the environmental awareness, we can educate our family, friends, and neighbors also. Participate in cleanliness drives and environmental campaign. Encourage the schools and communities to adopt the sustainable practices. Participate in community activities. Join the local governmental groups. Volunteer for river, lake, and park cleanup programs. This is also very important. Then support the government initiatives for the environmental conservation, cleaner air and water, reduce the pollution and waste, conservation of natural resources, and protection of biodiversity. See, these are the very small steps you have to take. So all this is we are discussing about role of common people, that is environmental sustainability and you. Okay, so the title of today's presentation is the environmental sustainability and you. So though the government play important role, NGOs play important role, the important role for you is also there in environmental sustainability, and we already discussed about that. So in conclusion we can say that environmental sustainability is a shared responsibility. Even individual regardless of age of occupations or occupation can contribute through the simple daily habits such as conserving the resources, reducing waste, planting trees, and spreading awareness. Collective actions by the common people, along with support from governments, NGOs, and industries, is essential for creating a cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable planet for the present and future generation. Let us take the pledge to put the first step from yourself in the environmental sustainability. Thank you.